going to talk about the PCL, or the Professional Collegiate League. The PCL was formed originally by myself, Andy Schwartz, and Keith Sparks. Next, we were joined by David West as our COO, my co-host. Most recently by Wendell Haskins, our Chief Marketing Officer. And ultimately, the PCL is college sports reimagined. It's a form of college sports that will allow athletes to receive salaries while also receiving scholarships. It'll be a little bit different because our athletes are not going to be representing their institutions that they attend, but rather will be playing for teams in a totally separate ecosystem, which is the PCL. We're going to have 8 teams in the first season, all up and down the East Coast. Going north to south, those cities are going to be Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Richmond and Norfolk, Virginia, Raleigh and Charlotte, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. The players will receive salaries between $50,000 to $150,000 in addition to the scholarships that they receive to institutions in the cities that they play or online programs that they can attend. Additionally, they'll be able to go to community colleges, accredited vocational programs, and trade schools. We will be launching about 14 months from now in June 2021. And so with that, Wendell, again, most recent addition to the team. You joined us officially, I believe, about 10 days ago. What drew you to the PCL?
Yeah, Ricky, thank you, man. It's a pleasure to be here. What drew me to the PCL, man, is I honestly think this is part of the evolution of sport. If there's anything that you can ever do someone to help them, is to give them the opportunity, A, to make some money, or I should say, A, to be educated, and then B, to make money, you know? So those two things in tandem meant a lot to me. And I think this is, really a part of the evolution of American sport, to allow people to receive their education first and foremost, and then have the opportunity to get paid. I think that's what we all want to be in a position to do, is to earn a living and feed ourselves, provide for our families. And certainly, we can see what's happened over, the course of years in American sport, and a lot of problems have derived from people not being able to either A, provide or make a living wage for themselves while they're in college. So, I'm an avid sports fan. I love basketball. I've been a basketball fan all my life. Grew up playing basketball, baseball, and just about all sports. I've worked in sports and entertainment, just about all my life. And I just thought this was an amazing opportunity. And I think this is something that really presents the kind of the, where sports is going. And I'm excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, something for me that in college sports that's talked about but uncomfortably talked about is the racial composition when it comes to the demographics of college sports. In particular college basketball, where 58% or so of the athletes at the Division I level, particularly those with scholarships, are Black. When you factor in the percentages of starters versus bench players, the percentage goes considerably higher. Then you juxtapose that with the coaches and administrators, college coaches, Division I men's basketball, 78% are white. Athletic directors, I believe, are 82% white. Assistant athletic directors are 85% white. Associate athletic directors are 85% white, and assistant athletic directors are 87% white.
Man, that was some buckets right there, man.
Wendell, you come from, the PGA of America. Don't want to get that right again. Where part of what you oversaw was diversity and inclusion initiatives for the PGA of America. When you hear those numbers, does it surprise you or not?
Well, if you want me to spew out the diversity numbers in professional golf, they're even more busy. So what you just presented, it would actually be significant progress in the PGA system.
Wow.
So, and it's all relative, but certainly, those disparities are across all sports. We know, I have friends and relatives that work in professional football, and those, numbers are also very concerning and disappointing, so we all have issues across all sports, but particularly in, basketball and football, where you have a large majority of the players that are Black, it's even, more, concerning that you have so few people in either management, front office, and coaching that are given the opportunities to do those things. And, a friend of mine in professional basketball once said, the white guys are lucky because they recycle the white guys. You can go from one job to another and stay on TV and get, all kinds of jobs, but it doesn't happen like that for people of color, unfortunately. So, to be able to put people in a position to, join the workforce, get paid for what they love to do and what they have expertise in, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I think one of the most exciting things for me that originally drew me to the PCL, originally the HBL, and something that's really excited me in the few weeks that we've gotten to work together is the opportunity to sort of rewrite the narrative of how people perceive college athletes, which again, based off the numbers, typically tend to be Black college athletes, and even beyond that, Black male college athletes. I think there's a narrative opportunity here for us to really reestablish and redefine what people think about. And it's not just going to be, athletes looking for a payday, athletes getting in trouble off the field. The old AD from Taylor Branch's work, The Shame of College Sports, talking about, either the animals running the zoo or guys wanting nothing but chains and rims, all those different things. We have an opportunity, I think, to totally rewrite those perceptions.
Sure. And it didn't hurt that, you're a Richmond guy too. So that's where my roots are. So that is
not the Richmond connections, much to David's chagrin, which I still think go back a little bit to his playing days at Xavier. But David, a question you and I get asked a lot, I think in almost any setting that we go out into: why would a blue chip prospect say yes to the PCL when you have Coach K at a Duke, Roy Williams at a UNC, Calipari at a Kentucky also knocking on their door?
I mean, the easiest way to answer that would be we offer something different. We offer a professional approach, a professional pathway, sooner rather than later. For us, we're not going to disguise or hide our motive or our intention, which is to professionalize the athlete and to begin to help him create the skills and build the faculty to be a professional athlete sooner rather than later. Use the 8 months, if it's a one and done player who's directly tied with us, use those 8 months to directly invest in them as potential or future pro athletes. I think that's the best way to put it.
Absolutely. I think that, the idea that college athletes, specifically in this context, college basketball players, should have to forego one of the most valuable portions of their career, especially for those, David, you're 15-year guy in the NBA, you're the dream case, but how many of your college teammates, how many of your former professional teammates that didn't have that type of career, that had to forego a huge earning potential by virtue of not being paid in college?
Right. Yeah. I mean, again, most guys don't make it. That's the unfortunate truth. And guys have to have the opportunity to seize on their basketball potential when it's available to them. And that's a big benefit to coming into our system as opposed to the current one that's in place. Oh.